Good. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Okay, so now today we are doing 8.6 classifying triangles. Okay, so there's two ways we classify triangles. The first one is we classify triangles by their sides. Okay, and then the second way is we classify triangles by their angles. So we're going to start classifying triangles by their sides first. Okay, so let's start the first one. Number one, we will check the first triangle we will name. Okay, so this one, what do we call this triangle? We call it equilateral triangle. All the sides are equal, and we call it equilateral triangle. Okay, so let's write down equilateral triangle. So you draw it and write down the name. So we write down equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle. Okay, why? You might be asking, why is it called equilateral triangle? As you can see, equilateral means equal sides. So this side is equal to this side. The length of this side is equal to this side. So that's why we call it equilateral. Okay? In another word, we could say they are congruent. All the sides are congruent. So just write down underneath it. All the sides are congruent. You know what the congruent means? Congruent means they are all the same. Congruent. Okay? Yes. All the sides are equal. So that's our first one. The second one, the second triangle we're going to learn today is called isosceles. Okay? So isosceles will have two sides are the same. So for example, we have like this. So two of the sides at least are equal or congruent. So this side is equal to this side, and we call this isosceles. So how do we write isosceles? You need to memorize this. So isosceles will be isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. Okay, so what do we know about isosceles triangle? Isosceles triangle have got two sides at least which are congruent, or two sides which are equal. So at least two of the sides are congruent. Remove that word. Congruent. Alright? Two of the sides are congruent. So how do we write two congruent? We just mark it with these little lines to say at least two of the sides are congruent. Is that clear, boys? Yes. Good. Thank you. So now let's go the third one. Okay, so the third one is going to go like this. It will look like something like this. So we will have a line here. Okay, we will have a line there. And then we will have, okay, let me use same color. Okay, where's our B? Okay, so let's just use the same color. Yeah, congruent is the same. Basically, the same length, the same shape, same length. Okay? So we have one line will go here, and then another line will be here. Okay, and then another line will go here or something. Okay, so when we look at this, what we can see is all the sides are different. Okay? So we call this one scaling. Okay? So write down that name and remember that place. So this is scaling triangle. Okay?
Yes.
scaling triangle.
Okay.
Right. What is a scaling triangle? All the sides are different. None of the sides are the same. So in another word, we have has no congruent sides. Okay, so has no congruent sides. Okay, it has no congruent sides. So that means all the sides are different. All the sides are different. Does that make sense, boys?
Yes.
So far we have 3 triangles. The first one right here is equilateral triangle. All the sides are equal.
Yes.
And this line will tell us. The second one is isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangles will have at least 2 sides equal. Okay? So when we say that 2 of the sides are congruent. And then the last one, we have all the sides are different length. So we call it has no congruent sides. Okay, so this is when we are classifying triangles by the sides. Okay? We are classifying the triangles by the sides. Okay, how do we classify triangles? By the angles now. That's the other thing we need to learn. So, write a little title again, and then this time we say classifying or classified by angles. Okay, so classified by angles. Okay, so this time we're going to classify by angles. So classify by angle. So this time we are going to focus. We're going to focus on the angle. What happens to the angle? Okay. So let's have a look at the first one. Okay. So if we have a triangle like this, and we have one here, one line, and one line here, another one here. If you look at this. Okay, yes, here. If you look at this way, what do you notice about this? What are these triangles? This angle is what? No, this angle is acute. So it's got 3 acute angles. So when a triangle has got all the sides acute, what do we call it? Acute triangle. Simple. So just write down that acute triangle. So just write underneath it. Acute triangle. Okay?
Okay.
Acute triangle. So that means all the sides are, of course, acute. Okay, what is acute? Acute is the angle which is less than 90 degrees. It's more than 0, but less than 190 degrees. Less than 90 degrees. Does that make sense, boys?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So let's have a look at the next one. The next one we have obtuse triangle. So if we draw another triangle like this. Okay. So let's draw another triangle here. So if we have it here like this, and then we draw it here. Okay, let's use that again. So we have it there. Okay, and then we have another one. Okay. What does that remind you? Obtuse. So we connect these two, and now we have a triangle. So at least one side is obtuse triangle. Okay. So what should we call this one?
Obtuse triangle.
We call this obtuse triangle. So let's write down that please. So we call it obtuse. Okay, obtuse triangle. Let me use the same color, right? Obtuse triangle. So write down. Okay, so what is obtuse obtuse triangle, at least it have one side which is obtuse. Okay? So write down that. One side is obtuse angle. Right. Any question, boys? Yes. Could it be two sides? Yes, of course it could be two sides. Okay? But imagine, can you draw obtuse with two sides?
Yes.
That's really actually question.
It should be a square.
It will be like a square.
Yes.
Yes? So this one will be, only one side will be obtuse, and we call that one obtuse triangle. So well done. Well spotted, brother. Okay, now the last one we're going to learn about. Okay, let me just draw it first, and then you will tell me what we call it. You give it a name, right? Okay, so if I draw this now, okay, I hope you can see that. Okay. Okay, so we'll give it here. Okay, what name should we give this? Yes, Muhammad. Khalid. This will be right angle, of course.
Yes. Right triangle.
Yes. So we call it right triangle. So write down right triangle. So write down that right triangle. Great. So we call this a right triangle. Why we call it right triangle? Because it's called a right triangle. Okay? Now, just one more thing that I need to mention. They can also intertwine. Like for example, we have one isosceles triangle, which could also be a right triangle. Okay? Like for example, if I have isosceles triangle, so this isosceles triangle, this side and this side are the same, right? So it does make the isosceles. But also it will be a right triangle, sir? So if I ask you to describe that, you could call it isosceles right angle.
Yes, because they just
Because both of them could be described. You can classify it as a right triangle, but also you can classify it as isosceles because two of the sides are the same. Yes, go ahead.
It's a matter about the size. If it's like the bigger size, doesn't mean it's the same shape or smaller, so you're saying the same shape?
Yeah, exactly. It should be the same shape as long as you can see, like for example on this one, for the acute triangle, all the sides are acute. Okay? For the isosceles, we have two sides are the same. And on this one, here we have obtuse. It goes only one side, which is obtuse triangle. Yes? Hold on 1 second. Any more questions, boys? No. Good. So thank you very much. There will be, I know what I'm going to say, a homework for this. And I want you to check on the schooling. For those of you who submit your homework so far, well done. Those of you who did not, please submit as soon as possible. Okay? It will be on schooling and it will be graded. So I expect everybody to submit that. Okay? So we're gonna have to stop there the lesson. And as usual, those of you who might not be here or miss the class or for whatever reason need to watch this again, I want you now to go on page. Okay, what page are you going? Okay, I want you to go page 480 on this book. Okay, Mathematics Course 2. And I want you to go on this page. What page is it? 480. I want you to go on this page. We are working on it. If you don't have the book, you can freeze this and work from this. And then you can work those names and classify just by using this guidance. And this will help you really a lot. Okay? So well done. Thank you very much. And yes. It will be on tonight, inshallah. Okay? So just before I go, let me just say, what should I say? Share, subscribe, like, and comment. Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna have to stop there. Thank you.